Good morning. Good morning to healing tip number 3. Today, I want to share with you one of the most common reasons why we end up breaking up. It is the first sign that will show you that there is an issue with your relationship. And again, when I speak of relationships, of course, I am speaking about our romantic relationships because that's why we're here. Our romantic relationships are our mirror to who we are, what we need to work on, what we need to see, what we need to be conscious to. And, for me, it's the romantic relationship is like the gateway to self actualization because it's through these relationships that we are allowed to grow and that we have the opportunity to evolve. So, although I say that, and although this is the work that we're doing, remember everything I teach you applies to all of your relationships because all of our relationships are specifically designed to teach us something. And that's why we are in those relationships. So, healing tip number 3 is all about communication. Now, there's verbal communication and there's nonverbal communication. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the effects of both when they both break down, when nonverbal communication breaks down and when verbal communication breaks down. But the first sign that there's a problem with the relationship is when verbal communication breaks down. Some people might argue with me. I know that there are experts in the industry that would say that as soon as you stop having sex, that's the first sign that you're going to eventually break up. But I'm kind of interested in, how to mitigate that effect from the very beginning. Not when, it's obvious if you're not having sex, then obviously you're not connecting. So I'm going to be talking about verbal communication and how it relates to nonverbal communication as well. So when we stop communicating on a verbal way, when we stop expressing ourselves, when we start shutting ourselves down, when we're afraid to express ourselves and afraid to be vulnerable, that's when we lose connection energetically. Do you get that? When we shut ourselves down, when we shut our voices down, we stop the energetic communication to that person. Okay? So how does this type of, self, blocking of communication happen? Well, it starts when we communicate from a point of view of our wounding. When we communicate our wishes through our wounding, through that heart armor that I speak about, that we develop over years of heartbreak and over years of putting our emotions sort of in front of us energetically, where we filter everything that comes to us through those emotions. So somebody might say something that triggers you, but in actual fact, they're saying something that from their point of view is not hurtful, isn't meant to upset you, is not delivered in a malice type of hurting way, or but yet because we have these filters, we can only hear it that way. We can only hear it from the point of view of our wounding. So our perception is off, right? So after a lot of this happening, if you have a really thick heart armor and a lot of, communication coming to you triggers you, then you're going to start feeling, if it triggers you, then you're going to respond in a way that's inappropriate, right? You're going to respond from your wounding or from your inner child that is wounded. So you're going to maybe lash out. Maybe you're going to respond in a sarcastic manner. Maybe you're going to be passive aggressive. All those forms of communications are destructive. and only provide for a disconnect, only exacerbate a disconnect to that person. Okay, so when that happens, of course, then you're going to get a response that is from another wounded person, because now you are wounding them, right? So you filter through the wound, you see it as a wound, even though it's not delivered as a wound. You respond in a way to wound back or defend yourself, and then they respond to, in a way to wound or to defend themselves. And this is the pattern of destructive communication. And this is when we snowball. And this is when, if we continue this type of communication without stopping it, then every time you see that person, you're going to automatically feel and put out that energy that you do not like them, or that you are bracing yourself for some sort of comment that might trigger you. And so your job is to sit with your feelings, not react, do an internal inquiry as to why you're upset over that comment. And now, of course, I'm speaking about normal comments, not about obvious comments that are meant to hurt you when you're in an argument. But even so, when that happens, what I want you to do is just to reflect on how that feels in your body. And, you have the choice at that time to respond in a certain way. You have the choice. So how you respond will precipitate a reaction that will exacerbate the breakdown of your communication. So how do we deal with that on an energetic level? I mean, there's tons of different methods in which I teach that helps mitigate the initial reaction, your response. But today I want to teach you and share with you an energetic practice. I love Reiki and energy work because it really hones in on how we feel on a soul level. This is about your intuition. This is about what your guides, your angels, your inner voice is telling you, right? Being aware of how you feel is key to everything. It's not just about what you say, but it's how you feel that's going to eventually result in how you respond verbally and how you react non-verbally. So today I want to teach you a really special chakra opening technique. So we have 7 chakras, right? And one of the most important chakras that we deal with when we're healing, and that we have to deal with and heal as women, is our throat chakra, or the 5th chakra. This chakra is in charge of our thyroid. It's responsible for our expression. It's actually responsible for our sense of hearing too, because when you can speak, you can also hear, right? It's connected. As I said, it's responsible for how our thyroid functions, our immune system functions, and our metabolism, because that's what the thyroid's responsible for, right? Our metabolism. So when you shut down your voice and you shut down this throat chakra, so the discs, as you know, these are energetic forces. This is an energetic center. It's science-based. It's not woo-woo. It's very important for you to focus on this, because we as women, for centuries, decades, have been shut down. Our voices have been shut down. And they've been shut down not necessarily because we're female. It's because of the way we react and how we communicate. If we communicate from our wounding, always, we're never going to be heard, because what you're going to be doing is triggering other people's wounding. We're all wounded beings walking around on this earth, now more so than ever. So if you communicate from your wounding, all you're going to be doing is triggering other people's wounding. And you will never get the response that you want. And you'll never be heard because they're only hearing from their wounding. So this is your opportunity to rise above it, get into your higher feminine, and start cultivating an open throat chakra, cultivating that sense of hearing and intuition. Open your expression, feel comfortable in speaking your truth, confident in the value of your voice, being heard. This is what focusing and healing this chakra is all about. So it's also called the Vishuddha or Vishuddha. It is the throat chakra, pure communication. Like I said, it's connected to our sense of hearing, our thyroid, our immune system, our metabolism. And it is associated with the color blue. And now, not any blue, it's associated with a pale blue or an azure blue. So if you have an azure blue pendant, maybe some, like a blue scarf, and you're dealing with trying to open up your throat chakra, wear that scarf. Okay? So I want to share with you just a little mantra in order for you to help activate and heal your throat chakra. So if you're ready, sitting comfortably, always making sure your feet are flat on the floor if possible. If not, lie down. You can use this as a meditation. And what I'm going to get you to do is to just place your hands in heart center in your chest. A little too close today. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath. I want you to focus on a light blue or azure colored blue light while you're doing this mantra. And focus it on your throat as you say the mantra hum. Hum is spelled the same way as ham, H-A-M. Okay? And you're going to be saying it as if you are chanting Om. And we're going to do it together for 10 times. 10 chants. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Focus on blue. Hum. 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 And that's it. If you do this practice every morning, you will feel more confident in the way you speak. You will feel more centered. You will feel more ability to express yourself. You will activate your immune system, help your thyroid, and heal your communications with other people in your life. Thanks for joining me today. Practice that. Let me know how you've been doing in the comments below. I'm really interested to see how your practices this week have been going. Monday, practice tip number 1. We talked about getting grounded with the white light grounding technique. Yesterday, We talked about, and I showed you how to really heal your nervous system with EMF tapping. Today, we learned about the hum or throat chakra mantra. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 4. Have a great day.